Hello future tech leaders, I'm Sindhuja. Based on my own experience, I know that learning the right skills can shape our future. What if I say learning was as thrilled as the tech world itself? There we go. A cloud foundation, that's exactly what you will experience. From day one, you will be immersed in the interactive sessions and expert-led courses that covers most of the widely used technologies in the zone of data science to cloud computing, which brings more light to the life of a techie. I'm so excited to help you and unlock the true potential of a technology. Well, then why to wait? Let's see what it unfolds.
I want to extract this table and I want to write it into Excel. What we will do, let me go to your iPad, use Open Browser. Open Browser Activity. What is the URL of the browser? I need to copy this URL. I'll just put it into double quotes. Then what I will do, I'll go to the do activity and I will do data structure. I want to extract the structured data. When I take this, I will take a first click next. I will go to the one of the cell. It will automatically identify this is a table. It is asking, would you like to extract all the data from the table? I have to click. Then I need to tell about how many rows of data I want to extract. I will save it and I'll click the button called Finish. But again it will ask you one more question. Will you like to populate? That means whether it is a multiple page content or a single page content, but it is a single page content. What I need to do is I hit next button. That means I need to click no. It is extracted. Which activity extract the structured data? This one. You know that it is stored in the output variable called extract table data. If you want, you can use this or you can delete it and you can create your own variable. Then what I need to do is I want to write it into Excel. How to write it into Excel? I use the range. I have to use range workbook. Workbook. I need to tell the workbook file. What is the name of the workbook? I'll give it as a current population. I think you know that it will tell you that that is not exist. I need to copy the copy and then create the file. I need to Ctrl V. / current population. And then I have to give the sheet name in which sheet name I want. You can give your own name also. It's not necessary to be sheet run. It will automatically create a sheet name called current population. Where we want to give starting cell is A1 and here data table, which is my extract table. Extract table data. I didn't change my variable. I didn't change it. That's it. This is called writing a range of data. Let's run the file. What I understand, whenever we do any activities, first we have to know what process we are thinking, what we are going to do. Like first, when we extract the data, then data will save in a UiPath table and then UiPath table is connected with the outflow. What is input data? Then data retain and then output. Exactly. Each and every activity will have an input and output. And retain data means variable. We are containing some data in between output and input and then we are linking Yes, exactly. The result will be stored in the variable. It will create a default variable. If you want to remove that variable and you want to create your own variable, means delete it, and you can create your own variable also. Correct. One more thing. When you are using this to convert to string and all, then how I know this type of formula? See, why we need to give that to string is see Ajit. You know that when you take this property URL, when you click this URL property, can you see what data type it is? But you're having the data in an integer variable. But I see I'm telling you a simple concept. I'm creating a variable called age. Age is what data type? Integer number. Integer. I'm storing some default value, my age. Now I want to print that into message box example. I'm telling you, I'm printed. I want to print that. I'm just telling a simple message box, but message box, what data type it takes? It is a string. But I want to print age. See, I'm giving the age. It is still showing an error because it is an integer. What I need to do it? I need to convert that into to string. Got? Well, if it is in integer, then I want the number. Then I have to convert integer string to integer. Yes, exactly. Got. That's it about. Let's move on to message. See, it is. That's funny. That is what I told you, Edit. Studio X is, there is no such thing in case of Studio X. That conversion type, because default it take its own data type. That's only I'm telling you. We are training this citizen development for a big organization where all the business people have developed a lot of automation. Studio X is purely for RPA developers, but I'm telling you it has more capability when compared to Studio X. Studio X is for RPA developers, the people who comes from the technical background. Studio X is for the citizen developer, the people who comes from the business background. Understood? If I would say if I am learning it, I can use this Studio X if I tried on any. That's what I'm telling you. No, I did. Studio X is very simple, but it doesn't have a lot complex. Like I do want to do multiple things now that you cannot do it in the case of Studio X because it is only sequence. No flowchart and all, it is not there. That exactly. Studio X is just a sequence. Technique. See, non-technical people doesn't understand what is flowchart, what is state machine like that. They won't understand. For them, that's only we take an initiative to train the people who comes from the non-technical background on the topic called Studio X. Got it. I want to do this is I will copy and somewhere, but the logic should be understood. I would say get it. Why we are doing this, how we are connecting with data, the people, this is very important. No, a logic is one thing. The one thing you should know about it is you should understand the flow. What is your first step? What is the second step? How you are going? How you are doing manually that you are going to convert into activity. But second thing is you need to know what activity you need to use it. And one more thing, the activity is not much complex. See, I want to write a book of data range. I want to read a range of data, read range. It's like a simple term only. No, it is not too much complicated. You see, you have to take an interest and you have to explore it. Yes, that is very simple. You understand how to solve the range activity. You understand about the range. Range you understood. I got it. This is range activity. Next is let's go that. When you go on, you understand how to write a range of data. Let us create again new sequence Excel workbook. When you talk about workbook activity, we saw about what is the thing. Cell read cell. But can you see upon range workbook, get table range? These are the multiple things. We have it as read column, workbook, read row. See, you want to read. We saw about read range right cell. But apart from that, we have another activity like how to see. I want to read particular row of a table, a particular column of a table. We can use this activity. See read row. When you take a read row, what this will do? You can select the range. You can take the workbook desktop. What is the activity name called? You can use same kind. Let me take challenge. Another program. I'll close this one. I'll open the workbook. You can tell the sheet name. What is the sheet name? I think sheet 1. You need to give the starting cell. This is read row. It will read this specific row. I want to read the third row. What I will do? I will give A3. This is the starting cell. If I give C3 means what happened? Which row it will read? C3 I'm giving. Third row I think. Third row from where it will start reading. Sheet 1 is CC column 1. See, you want to read them. Generally people will think that C3 means it read the entire third row. Whatever the starting cell that you give from that row, it will read the particular column. It will read it. If I give A3 means third row. If I give C3 means third row C column, it will read it. Now it is read row column. When I take the read row column, we gave the sheet name, we gave the starting cell, we gave the workbook path, and then the result. Now Ctrl K. You can tell that column data Excel column. Whatever variable Excel column. When I give this Excel column, can we let us see what type of variable it is? What type of variable it is? It is called collection data type. I enable a collection means it is one row, one column. It is stored in the form of object. Now I hope to take this value one by one I need to use for each. No, not for each in the table. For each. For each, when I give for each, I will give this Excel column. Excel column. Excel column. I will give it now. Each value it is stored into which variable. Current item. I'll just use message box to print it. What is that variable? Current item. ToString. Why I'm converting that into toString? Because which will be 9 numbers. No current item is what data type. No object you can see here for each. Can you see that for each? What data type it is? Where is my for each? This is my for each. List of items. Can you see what data type it is? Sorry, list of item index. Now I think then can you see what is the type of argument it is? Object. If you want to be very clear with that, you want to change that into string. You can change it into string. Then if you're using string, you no need to convert it. Convert into string. No need of conversion, only convert. Conversions, we can do it. Understood. Let's turn the box. Why does it matter? I think it is cause we created huge book. Can you see? It is reading from the third row data. See, but can you see what happened here? Let us open that Excel sheet. Let me open that Excel sheet. Challenge. Which row data? We are reading it in the sheet 1. We are reading the third row data. See, we saw that we got the output for Medicare. Medical engineer Q11 from Jersey. We got it, but when I'm coming to phone number, we got it. Which is the number? But what we did in your UiPath, we gave it as a string data type. Better you can use as an object. Use as an object. Object will take all the data type. Now here you can do current item dot to string. Dot to string. Now you see that you let me close. You saw the third row of data. What is my third row of data from? We gave C3. C3 will read this row of data. Yes, so. Correct. We gave C. C3 means it will start from C, third row. And this is the row of data it is reading. Now let's go on. Can you see Medicare that particular row is reading it? Can you see the phone number? Now we are not getting an error. Can you go up? Just go up. I understood how we can read the row. Can you go just slightly up? For each means, this is data table. This is data each Excel column. This is not a data table. It is a variable. No, for each row, it is like a list. No, I wouldn't say this one. It's like a list. For each the current item and what is the next one? Each column. It is output from the RAID workbook. This is current item. From C is linked with the Excel column, it is converted and read from the current item. No, this is the red row. I gave no red row. It read which row? It is reading C3. Now tell me which row number. C is the column. The column of data 3. It is reading the third column. From which column? Sorry, it's reading the third row. From which column? C column. That we understood. Now, I wouldn't say output in properties. Yes, it is stored in the form of. It is stored in the data type called collection object data type. What is the collection? Means collection of values, but it is not data table. This is variable, basically. This is a which called collection data. That's one. It is called in .NET. We call them as a collection. I want. A collection means what I want to take each value from the collection. What time which loop I'm using. For each, I'll write it in the notepad. See, I'm using what command I'm using. Read wrote workbook. I'm to it. This read row will store where the output will store. Store it in collection. How to read it from the collection? We have to use for each. This for to read. Each value from collection. Understood, not understood. Read row workbook. Read row means what? It read one row of the workbook and store it with collection. How to read the value from the collection? I have to use for each. Same thing if I want to read a column. See, when I take my workbook, where is my workbook? If I take this challenge, I can go to the sheet 1. I won't read the last name. I won't read all the last name. Which column I will give? B2, let me go to UiPath. I use the activity call. What activity? For each. No, read column workbook. Read column workbook. What is the workbook name? I give the same book name. What is the workbook name? Where is that frequently used? It's not followed. We call the challenge. What is the sheet name? Sheet 1. Sheet 1. And what is the cell I will give? I will give B2. And now where the result is stored, here you can see Excel. Excel column. I should give Excel column here. That should be Excel row. Excel column. The way scope is already there. One thing I will do. Change it here. I will change it here. Let me clear this value. I will create it into Control K Excel row. Here I will use Excel. Can you see? Both the things are same data type. It's a collection data type. Now I will use the same thing. Control C for each one. Control C. I'll come and write it here below. But instead of giving Excel row, I will give Excel com. That's it. Now this will read. This will read what data? Column data. Column data. Ajit, you can run from here also. Can you see there is an option called run from this activity? If I give run file now, it will run from the beginning. You can run from this activity. See, now you can read the column data. Message you have taken same. Message bar. I think most message box. Object references. Object references. Paris Excel column. For each object data type I gave. I think message. Messages. Message you have not changed. Call me. This is the message, disable this. You can minimize it. You can collapse like this also. We can disable the activity. Disable means it won't run. You can click and you can use option called disable. Now let's run file. Object references not set for each by messaging. No, I said no Excel column. Up. I'll change it to string. Because the first name on the name will be a string data type. By receiving object references not set. Rate Excel column. Oh, I didn't give this. I didn't give the output. Morning. I also this practicing one. I forgot to use double code in somewhere. Then I match with you. Then I understand what happened. Can you see this? It's printing all the names. We are reading column basically. We are reading specific column. Column, yes, got it. Got it? You can use read row. You can use read row and read column. What is the other activity we saw? Read column. This output will be stored in. Output will store it. Store collection. Store it in collection. How to read from the collection. Again, we need to use the same activity for each activity. Understand ages. You can read a range. You can read a single cell. You can read a column. You can read a row. All these activities are supported by this Excel sheet. Excel sheet, yes. Let me see any other things we have. Let me click. You can this command it. You can enable this activity. It will become remote now. Now it runs from the beginning. Understand, Ajit? Read row worksheet for each column. Read column and then you understood and then for each. Any question? For each. Then this is also you understood about the basic Excel workbook activity. Let's see any other activities we have. Excel workbook. Let's see workbook activity. What are the workbook activities? We saw about read column, read row, write range, write cell. And then under that see, and you can see the range column. Can you see? These are the workbook activities. Write range we saw. Write cell we saw. Read range, read row we saw. Read range we saw about it. Read column we saw. Read cell we saw about it. Append range workbook. What is append range workbook? Append range. Extend range. Append range workbook. See, I have some. You will be getting data from a different sheet. But you want to put it in a consolidated worksheet. How do you do that? One thing, let me go about this. See, where is that one more? We copy the read range loop. Here when I take this range, when I give write, can you tell me a gif? In this case, if I run the bot, let me minimize it, this one. If I run this bot again tomorrow, I am running. Now it will open the browser, extract the structured table data, and I am giving write range. Where it will write? Write in Excel book. Excel workbook only from where it will write. But see tomorrow I am running it. I want to append it down. I don't want to overwrite it. I want to append it. You understood my concept. See, if I run the bot tomorrow also, it will overwrite it. It will write it in the event cell. But what I want to do with? I want to keep the previous data also. Previous data, and I want to write it at the below. What I will do instead of using the write range activity, let me disable this activity. You can see there is an option called append range workbook. Append range workbook. Can you see the same thing? The workbook path. Which workbook path? The population. Where is that population detail? Let us copy the path from here itself. I will copy this path. Ctrl A, Ctrl C. I will put it here. Now what is the sheet name? This is my sheet name. Your current population. Now I will give the extractable data. Understood, Ajit? Now tell me where it will write it. Append range workbook I gave. Let me go to my project workbook. Where is my project workbook? What is the current population? Where is the current population? It doesn't create it. No, it doesn't create it. This is of Excel project. Let's run the bot. Let's run it. It is taking much time. The browser failed to launch the operation. I think it's already open. No, I did where? Open browser. Open browser. Where is open browser? Whole population. Which browser? I did choose it. I have to choose Edge. Otherwise it takes Internet Explorer. That's done. I'll run that again. Now we are done. Work successfully. Now let's go on to my current population. Can you see it? All the data is stored now. Ajit, can you see that? Can you hear me? You can see that. Now I'll run the bot. What will happen? Next, it should not. Let me run it again. It is executed successfully. Now let's go on. Open the project folder. Here I can see the current population. Now you can see that it is opened at 200 rows already there. Not 200 rows of data. Again it is written. It is written again. It is just appending it. It will automatically take it. It will go to the end of the sheet and it will append it. The previous data will interact. Yes, it will be there. You understood the difference between write range and append range. Write range means it will overwrite it. Append range means append at the end. Got it? This is the basic activity we have in Excel workbook. Any questions? You understood about this Excel process, about Excel workbook activity. I think let me go to the notepad. I'll write what is the activity we saw today. Append range workbook. Understood Ajit. Read range for each row. Read cell workbook. Write cell workbook. Write range workbook. Read row workbook. Read column workbook. Append range. Please remember, these are all workbook activity. I think I should make workbook activity. Is it clear? Any question? Now we are going to see Excel application. Excel application. What is Excel application? See, in Excel application, also we have the same thing activity like write range, write cell read range, append range. Whatever we saw in C when I'm what is the range? Range. Read row, read column. Append range. Append range. Write cell. Read cell. All this, whatever you seen in Excel workbook, you can see it in Excel application also. But what is the difference between this and this? What is the difference, Ajit? Let me go on create a new project now. Go to Home. Start. Create a process. I will create as an Excel application. I will just go to the C. You saw this activity now. Read range. But one difference is we won't have that workbook activity write range, read row, read column append range. The syntax are same, but all the above activities should be where? Application. The above activity are similar to workbook activity. Workbook activity, but only differences. Add all this activity inside the application scope. Excel application scope. And the student got it, Ajit. Now let me go to the project. I will show you the thing. First one, read sequence. Read range. But you can see, you can go on. Click on read range. Let me go to this. I will go and change the project settings. I will change it into model design. What we need to do is we need to put Excel application scope. Here we will give the workbook path. What is the workbook path? The desktop new folder challenge. The same activity I did. Here I will add read range. That's it. You understood the difference between the agent. Here in read range we will give only 2 input. In the previous activity we gave 3 input. What else? 3 input we gave it read range workbook. File name and range. Yes, exactly. But here sheet and range. Where is the workbook? The workbook is open in the Excel scope already. That's it. Got it, Ajit. The same thing one day. Read range. Read cell. I will add all the activity. You can see the difference. Read cell. Read cell is for reading a single cell value. And then read column. Read row. Read row, read column, read column. Write cell. Write cell. Not this one. So this one. No, this one. Write cell. Write range. Write range. Append range. Append range. Sorry, I can't see. All these are similar like your workbook activity. Only one difference is C. When you go to this activity, you can see the output. What is the output data type? For read range? No, for read range. Read range edges. For reading a range where the output is to data table. For read cell. Same, I think. No, read cell. Read cell. Read cell means single value. What type it will be? What type it will be? Go on, click on here what data type. It is a string. And same thing. Read row. It is a string. No read row. What data type it will store? Data collection. Yes, very good. For reading a value from data collection, which statement I will use? To read the value from data collection, which loop I will use? For each row in data table or for each? Each? Yes, very good. Read, I think you know read column. Again, this also collection data type. And each row. Write cell is to write only one value in Excel. We will use write cell. Append range. Sorry, write range. Write range input is data table. Append range is data table. All these activities are same, but only one difference is we will add it into the Excel application. But all this activity, what we did? We added separately. No, we didn't put any workbook. It is default, it is 3. See, here it takes 2 parameters, means here it will take 3 parameters. Can you show again the earlier one? Which one? 2 and 3 now you have just taken. Workbook type. The same option. See when I use read range workbook. Read range workbook. Can you see the difference? Yes, this is only see it here. We took the workbook. Here we have 2 parameters. Here we have 3 parameters. Why the 3 parameters? Because here our workbook name we are giving here. But here for this one where I am giving in the Excel application. Got it. Understood it? See read send here also I will use. It's in workbook. Can you see? The sheet, one cell, all the similar command only. But only one difference is, here you will have 2 parameters, there it will have 3 parameters. Same output, same input, everything is same. Got it? You understand that all this read, write, send, all this activity. But what is new in this Excel activity? Let me go to the activity. When I go and search Excel, you can see other activity also. Lot of activity, it is more advanced. Excel application score. You can see a multiple thing. Read row, read column, everything is same. Can you see? Read range, read cell, all the setback. If I want to, what I can do with this, let me take one more example. Let us work with form. Hello. You know that we have to do formulas. Now I'm going to teach you how to work with formulas. Let me take one example. XME. Transaction file. Where is the transaction file which I created? I will create one Excel file. Imagine that I have a voice loss. Now it's clear. I have a cash shell. Cash shell, cash shell. I have some list of values. Like this, I have budget. Now I want to find the total. Like this, I have a different sheet. Let us rename this sheet. This is January transaction. Like this, I have a tab. And then I have March. Like this, I have a multiple sheet. Ajay, let us copy and paste this. I don't want to waste the time. Control save. I will paste it. Control V. Control and Control V. Got it now? What is my requirement? This is like every day. I will get this data from my accounts team or finance team, whatever team, I am getting it. Now I want this. This is not just, I gave here 4 sheets. But in real time, I may have 20 sheets and 30 sheets or 40 sheets of data. I will have it. And the row of data is also not fixed. Here, when you say here you can see how many rows of data. Here we have 9 rows of data. Here we will have, let us drag it. I have some 12 rows of data. Here I have some. Let us make them some rows less. Let us delete this one. This is my data. See, this is I want to calculate what I want to calculate. I want to calculate the total. And I want to copy the formula here and I want to copy the same formula in other sheet also. And I want to drag the formula. You understood my use case. Yes. How we are going to do this? Let me save. File as save as browse. I will keep it into the desktop. Let us give the name as transaction detail. I understood now what I want to do with. Now let's go to my UiPath. Let us create a new sequence working with formula. I want to navigate to different sheet also. Yes, so how to navigate to different sheet? I don't know what is the sheet name. Sheet name. We don't know the sheet name. No. You can see there is an activity called. First I will use Excel application scope. Use Excel application scope. Excel application scope, which is a workbook. I want to work on it. I want to work on the test transaction detail. That is my transaction detail. Here it is. ID. Got it? I am just opening the Excel sheet. First, I am going to tell you how to get the sheet name. Can you see two activities here? Get workbook sheets. Get workbook sheet. What is the difference between these? Sheets or sheet? One and multiple. Get workbook sheet. Sheet. I need to use get workbook sheets. I will put this inside this tool. This activity, it will get all the sheet name and store it into this control. K sheet names. Let's go and see the variable object. What type of variable it is? String. List of string. You know what is a list? A collection of values. Now how to take each value from the list? You remember we saw collection? Collection also one type of. How to take the value from the collection? Which activity I will use? I want to take value of correct. For each row in data table or for each? For each row in data table. Data table. For each. For each. Don't think that I am asking questions that you will remember. For each. I am for each. What I will do? I will give the sheet name. Sheet name, yes. Just I am taking step by this. Just I will show you in the message box. Message box. What is written as a current item? If I print current item, what will return? What it will print? When I go down, I am opening the Excel worker. From sheet. What this will get? Workbook. Sheet names. It will get it. That sheet name, it will store it in which variable? Sheet name. I am taking each value from the sheet name, what it will print. What this will print? Current item. Current item, first sheet. First sheet, second sheet, third sheet. Let's run the box. See, we no need to remember also what is the sheet name. It will automatically get the sheet name. Can you see? It is opening the workbook January. Next is February. March, April. Understood or not? Correct. It shows the sheet data basically. No, it is giving the sheet name. All the sheet name I mean to say. What is this activity called? Get workbook sheet. Workbook sheets. Sheet. If I give, there is other activity also, they get workbook. Sheet is there. Sheet is there, yes. This will give you number of sheets. No, this will give all the sheet name. This will give the name of all sheets. Name of all the sheet names in the workbook. Workbook. But this will give single sheet. This will give name of the sheet based on index position. If I want, I will show that also. Can you see Get Workbook? Get Workbook sheet is there. But this will give it is asking index position. Can you see it is asking index position? If I give 3 with sheet name, it will print as it. That result will be stored with Ctrl K, third sheet name. Let's go and print it. Message box. What is that? Third sheet. Understood. Get workbook sheet. The input is index. Index. Let's run the bot. You can see the difference. It will open the workbook. It is giving April. It is starting index position 0. 0, 1, 2, 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. Which is the third sheet? 0 is N. March is 2. April is 3. It will open also, or the Excel also open. That's only when I use that activity. Yesterday, the Excel workbook activity that it won't, I told you no. Remember, Ajita, I told you that activity open that. See, let me go. What is the difference? I told you Excel application scope. It won't open in your task manager. But this it will open in your task manager. Excel application scope will open in your task manager. Understood, Ajita? Is it clear? It is returning all the work January, February, March, April, and it will close the workbook also. You understood the difference between Get Workbook Sheet and Get Workbook Sheets. Correct. This will return how many sheets? 3. 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. Get Workbook Sheet. It will return only one sheet. I have to say one sheet. Which sheet name it will return? 4 sheet name it will return. I mean workbook is specific. Basic based on index position. This will return Get Workbook Sheet. Sheet each. It will return where is the Get Workbook Sheets. It will return all the sheet names. Is it clear, Ajita? Yes. I am thinking where I will use this. See, that's when I told you one scenario. Where is that workbook? That workbook, no. I won't apply the formula. See, you cannot always fix no, Ajita, when you are creating an automation. We cannot go for static approach. Static approach means today the sheet name may be January, tomorrow it may be Jan. Day after tomorrow, January 2023. We cannot fix it. Every time when you are creating a bot. Otherwise, the bot will get failed. Correct? See, I am reading a range from sheet 1, but I am seeing the sheet name. Is somebody changed it as a Jan? You will get error or it will work successfully. It will work either. How it will work? My sheet name is sheet 1, but you gave January. Will it work? No, in this case application 1. No, Ajita. I am just reading a range from the workbook. I gave the sheet name as sheet 1. But in the workbook it is Jan. Will it work? No, can you go up? Just try one. I am talking about this, not this activity, Ajita. You are talking about, say application scope. No. You are asking when to use it. When we will use it, this activity. Tell me. When we want to see. We don't know the sheet name. Yes or no? See, you don't know the sheet name, Ajita. Only by index we can. The bot is searching first, second, third. Which one first, second, third? No, I am not saying workbook. We fix index 1. Sheet name may be anyone. Any name, it can be anything. Any name, yes. If you change the name also, it will work. It will work, yes. That is what. See, I know that in that workbook there will be only one sheet. Correct. But I don't know what is the sheet name. Sheet name, yes. You got it, Ajit? See, I know that there is only one sheet. I will use the sheet name index for 0. But we don't know what is the sheet name. What this activity will return. What this activity will return, Ajita? Get workbook sheet. What this will return? It return the sheet name. Sheet name, yes. It will give the name of all the sheet names. Ajita, to get the sheet name of workbook, I will use these two activities. Which are the two activities? Get workbook sheets and get workbook sheet. What this will return? Sheet name. It will get all the sheet names. But this will give index base. Index starts from 0. 0 is the first sheet. 1 is the second sheet. Make it clear. To get the sheet name from the workbook dynamically, we will use this command. Use the following command. In this case, if sheet name will change, the board will run. If someone changes the name from January to November, it will work. That's when I don't know what is the sheet name concept. Somebody will send it in different workbook January 23, January 24. It will read all the sheets in first case. And second case is the word 234. Based on index position. It won't read. It will give the sheet name only. Sheet name only. It will get only the sheet name. Sheet name, yes. Let me go to this. I think you understood the difference between get workbook sheet and get workbook sheet. Now, what is the logic? Let me go back to my use case. What I want to do is adjust. Now let me go open that workbook. What is the workbook? Transaction Excel. Where is the transaction workbook? What I want to do is just taking some other transaction workbook. Earlier we were open here, this one. I close this workbook, otherwise it will give an error. You can follow the path. You put it the path. No, I just click on. Let me show up on this. I just want to do it here. Tell me what is my use case. We want to do the total. I don't know how many sheets are there. I don't know how many workbooks. Sorry, how many sheets are there. I need to go to each sheet. And then I need to apply the formula. Yes, sir. Now I have opened the workbook. What is the first step I did? I have opened the workbook. Now I am going to write cell. Before I am getting this thing, getting the sheet name right cell. What I am going to write it, in which sheet I am going to write it. First sheet, I want to get it. How to get the first sheet name? How do I know whether it is January or February, or it may be a match also? How do I get the first sheet name? Can I use an activity called Get Workbook Sheet? Get Workbook Sheet. What is the sheet name? That is index number 0. This is my Control K first sheet name. What I am doing to write it here? I am going to write first sheet name where I want to write the formula in C2. Where I want to write the formula just here. C2. What formula I want to write? Sum of this one. I have to know that when you write it equal to plus, you can write it A1 plus B1. Got it? As it. I am going to write a formula like this. Is it clear why it is not closed? Here, I need to close it. I need to close this. Why this is giving me another A1 plus. Oh, I closed it. Not it. Equal. Because formula will start with equal sign. I wrote this formula. You understood this step. I am getting the workbook first sheet name. How to get the first sheet name? Get workbook sheet, index of 0. That is stored in the variable name called first sheet name. What I am doing? I am writing a cell. What I am writing? You can see to the formula I am writing it. Now how to read this formula as it? How to read this formula? I won't read this. See, there is a 2 command read cell. Is there? See Ajit, you know that there is a command called read cell. Can you see? Read cell and read cell formula. What is the difference between this Ajit? I think it is only reading the cell, whatever the value is given. But I want to get what? Read formula. I want to read the formula. For that we have an activity called read cell formula. from where we wrote the formula. C2. C2. I am going to read cell formula from where? From the first sheet name. From this will store it. Read cell formula will store the output. Can I control K? Can I give it as a sum formula? Got it? Now I got the formula. Yes or yes. Now if you want, you can print it also. Let us give message box. Message box. You can print the cell formula. What is that? What is that formula? Sum formula. Sum formula. Now one thing I will do. Ajit, I will remove all. Let me disable this. Let me delete this activity. I will just go step by step. I don't want to confuse. What I did, first step what I did, I opened the workbook. I opened the workbook. I am getting the which sheet name? Workbook sheet. Which sheet name I am getting it here? Sheet name 1. Basically workbook. Which sheet name? January. That is first sheet name. Now I got the first sheet name. Next what I am doing, it here. Writing formula. Now how to read the cell formula? Read cell formula. Formula C2. You cannot use read cell agent. What is the difference between read cell and read cell formula? Read cell means only one cell we have to read. Read cell will read the value from specific cell. But I want to read cell formula. What is it read? Will it read the formula from specific cell? No, specific cell. Understood, Ajit. Now let's run the bot. I am reading a cell formula. I am printing that on your screen. That's it. I am doing it now. Now I didn't do anything extra. Opening the Excels. Can you see the formula? A1 plus B1 ergat. And one more thing. Let's open the workbook. Where is that workbook? Let us open that workbook. Which workbook? Transaction details. Can you see? It is written the formula A1 plus B1. Oh, sorry, what I need to give A2 plus B2. I should give. Yes. Here I need to give A2, B2. Now let's run it again. Can you see A2 to B2? Now let's go and see in that January. I think it is December 2. Let's go and see in Excel. Transaction details. Now can you see if you got the formula? Now what is the? I did the formula now. What is the next step I need to do? C2, C3, C3. Next. I need to draw. You know that there is a concept called like this. We will do it now. Yes or no? What is this called as? Dragging? No, in Excel, what we called as Autofill? Autofill, we drag it such. We drag it, but in English word we will use it as autofill. You can see when you go to the processing, there is an activity called autofill, where you will give the fill. See, the destination is C2 to C2 to C2 to C7. We can use C only. No, that is not possible. Then it will copy the entire row. Got it, I see. Now I am doing with how many sheets now? Let's run the board. I am working with how many sheets now? 4 sheets. Here only. No, can you see it is giving sheet name? Autofill sheet root, but I need to give the sheet name. Let me delete this. What is the sheet name? First sheet name. First sheet name. Let's run. This sheet name we created at initial. We got it through sheet name no. Can you see ages? It has copied the formula. It quickly did it. Can I see it has copied the formula? Yes or yes, autofill, but I want to repeat the same sheet for all the sheets. How do I repeat this step? Sheets. I will select the sheets, not sheet. I am saying index workbook sheets or sheets. Sheet. Now, can we remove this message box? Message box is waste. Now Ajit, this is. I did for only one sheet. Now what I am going to do is, I am going to get workbook sheets. I am getting workbook sheet. What is the variable we gave created? I think sheet names we gave. Now how to take from the value from the sheet name? For each sheet. What is the thing? I will give sheet names. Ajit, I am going to repeat the same term. What is the thing? Right cell. Right cell. Where I am going to write it? Right cell. CB. Now here I won't give sheet 1. What I will give? What I will give? Let's see. Sheet name. Where the sheet name holds. One by one sheet name. It is stored in the current item. I am going to use the current item here. Where do you want to write the formula? What is the formula you want to write it? I think we got the formula here. We got the formula. I am going to write here. Where is the formula? Right cell double quotes equal to plus some formula I am going to give. Some formula we did know ages here. Rate cell formula, I got it no. Then what I need to do is now I write the formula. Now we are going to add this autofill range. Here also, I won't give current sheet. What I will give? Current item. But now tell me this is C2 to C4 I gave. You told me, Manjola, don't give this. You asked me to give C:C. It's just only you asked me to do it, but this is good. See, no, I think I am looking not correct. This is not correct because C2 to C. How do I get the last row number, AG? Let us give maximum row number C20. I am giving. See, I don't know that. Some sheets have 5 rows of data, some rows have 3 rows of data, some rows have 10 rows of data. I am giving maximum limit here. Let's see what is happening here. Autofill I gave. Now let's go on and run the box. That's it, I finished. I returned the formula. In this case, it will run for both a single. We run only. It will work for all the sheets. No, earlier we also added one single workbook, also workbook cell. Also we index. Why I need the index? No, you use it earlier. I use because at least I need to write it in one sheet. Because I am going to write the formula there. It is there. I am going to say both will run for both or single. It will repeat it. No problem, it will overwrite it. Some manner is there. See to something here also. I didn't close it. I didn't close it. This is common mistake. I didn't close it. Double quotes. Can you see it is going to all the sheet and filling in quickly? Did you monitor it? Now let's go on and open the text sheet. Transaction detail. Can you see? It copied the formula Jan sheet, it copied February sheet, it copied March sheet, it did April sheet, it copied. But what happened? But this is, can you see? Some extra zeros, extra because we gave maximum 20 rows. But that is not a good way. How we can do this? Let us delete this again. Let us save this file. Ajit, how to get the last row number? See, you know that in January the last row number is 7. But in February the last row number is 9. How to get the last row number? You understood what is my C? I did it. I did the process. What I did? I just write the cell formula. I did autofill range. But autofill I gave C22, but it is not 20. It is something. Some extra zeros are there. How to overcome this? I cannot fix the number of rows. You can see that some rows are blank. We are getting it. If we can put the formula, if this is not data, then should not. No, how do I am doing autofill. Autofill will double click. It will come in human being. But how we can do it in AI file? Ajay, I will teach you one thing, concept called. I am going to read a range. Range. Read range. I am reading. Which, from where I am reading it? From current item. I am reading the whole sheet Ajit. That is stored in the output name called DT. Transaction detail. It is what type of variable? String. I think it has control K. DT transaction detail. Read range where the result will store agent. Where it is stored. Read range. Where it is stored in string or integer. Where that read range result will store. It will be numbers. How it can be numbered. Read range agent. Where the result will be stored. What type of variable it is? It is string, you mean. Oh, I see collection. Collection data. No read range. I am not talking about read row, read column, read range. I am reading the whole sheet. Where the result will store. In data collection, DT collection. Data table. Data table. Read range will always result. Stored in the data table, agent data table. Now can you see this is my data table. What is the data table? DT transaction detail. What is the data table? Table means what it is an intersection of rows and columns. Here I am going to write a sign activity. What I want to do is I want to get the last row number. How to get the last row number? Where the data entire sheet is stored. DT transaction detail. DT transaction detail. Dot row. Can you see agent? Dot count. What this will return. What this will store. Count the number of. I will write it in the notebook for your reference. What this will. Data table dot rows count. What this will return. It will return total number of. Number of rows in your data table. Agent. I am going to store this into control K total row. Can you see that it created a variable name called total row? Total row, it is created. Where is my total row? Can you see? But it is storing as an integer. String. But I need to convert into. It is numbers. AMB. Now you can see that it is not. It is removed. That error. Can you see that? But this will return total rows. When I go to the Excel sheet, it will return this column. It will return only 8 rows. Because it will return 8 rows, but we have how many rows? What I am doing it, I am adding +1 here. When I go to this open editor, I am giving +1. Now what I am going to do with when I am giving read range, I won't give C2 colon, I will close it, exit this one. Plus total rows we got no. Not two strings. Colon, C2 colon C, I am closing total row. Because this will take only string data type. I am converting total row to a data type string. Now you see that that's it. Let's turn the bar. Then let's go on open the Excel sheet. Can you see it? Not this one, not this one, not that Excel sheet. Transaction. Can you see it? Off circuit filter. Correct. If I need the column total, same reverse. Column total means A total sum, B total sum, sum of caching. This you are talking of, that is the individual formula you needed. You have to write a formula and you have to autofill like this. Autofill like this. See, I did autofill like this. No. You need to do autofill like this. Column, same really apply. If it is column, same thing. But only thing is range will change. Range will change. Instead of C, I will put it into A2 to C2. 6. Not your point. Let me review that activity. This is what we called as working with formula search. This is one of the big concepts I can tell you in Excel. It is, the function will work for multiple minus plus. Any number of workbooks. Any number of worksheets. Worksheets, yes. I mean, say we have taken the formula plus, but if I want to do minus, any formula, you can write it. You can write your function also. Some average max, everything you can do it. It is start with the equal sign. What you do manually, no same thing. I am doing it here. Equal to this one, you can write it. See, instead of this, A2 to B2. If you want to write formula here, you can write sum of A2 to B2. You can write it like this also. Got it on the same formula, we can copy it. We can copy it. You can write formulas. Whatever formula you want to do it, you can write it. Got any questions? Here we are using what are the activities I explored here. Autofill range. Read self formula. What is the thing? Workbook sheet. You understood, no? Auto. But what is the formula you put for the limited? Data table.rows.count. What this will do in the data table? It will count what? Rows. It will return total number of rows in a data table. This is my data table variable, data table variable. .rows.count. That's only mainly designed for purely the C. I'm not telling that. The people who come from dot and background know they can do magic on them. They know what are the functions that are available. They can automate end-to-end process. That too. UiPath is on demand now because they will ask the people who want to work with UiPath. They will check the background. They have .NET experience also. Got your point? If you have .NET experience and a UiPath, it's a great opportunity. I know that. Understood, Ajit? I think today we saw a lot of activity. Any questions on this? Not now, no questions. And when you talk about this Excel application scope, we saw about all this activity. print cell. See, edit, you know the default. It will save your workbook. See, when you're opening an Excel application scope, you can see the option called Save Changes. But by mistake, somebody have unchecked this option. Or, on a safer side, you want to save your workbook in between. What you can do? You can use this Save Workbook activity. After C, for example, I have 1000 sheets. I have 1000 sheets in the workbook. It will take some half an hour or 1 hour to execute this process. In between, you want to save the workbook. On a safer side, if you want to save a workbook, you can write this activity called Save Workbook, and it will save it. And then no option. No extension. No. In Excel application scope, it will save it at the end one day. But I want to save it in between. Suppose I have some technical challenges, my computer, my power charge may happen, or my network will issue network. But I want to save the internet and say try it. For that we can use this. This is our best practice I can do. And finally, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel.